I was asked the question on a cable show, obviously of inferior quality to yours, which is really saying a lot.
Yeah.
But I was asked, you know, how do you feel about being attacked for listening to Rush? And I said, who doesn't love Canadian power rock trios?
Yeah, that is true. Hey, Congressman, what are you reading anything new lately?
Well, yes, as you know, Greg, I like the works of Gabriel Garcia Marquez and others, but I was minding my own business when someone put in my hand what I can only describe as a turgid excursion in literary onanism.
Really?
In fact, to call it fetid dung would be an insult to the rude beasts who put more work into their product than the author did.
Really?
The book I'm speaking of is Pork Scratching by one Mr. Gutfeld.
Did you actually read that book?
No, I didn't want to be the first person in America to actually finish it. It was one of those books when you start reading it, you ask yourself, I'm supposed to care about the protagonist, but I can't. All I want to know is when is he going to put himself out of my misery before he drags me into it.
And that was just the recipe section.
The only redeeming feature of the book is you can read it in, shall we say, one sitting,
yes,
and then use the absorbent materials for a better purpose.
Hey, have you finished my book yet?
I'm getting close. I'm getting very close.
Yeah.
It's no better than when I last described it, but I'm plowing through it as an act of friendship for you.
Hey, do they have secret underground tunnels in D.C. so like people like you can beat traffic and get home?
No, because they're afraid of what the members of Congress would do in them.
Yeah. Do you guys have a gym where you work out?
Well, there's a health fitness center, and I don't go there very much because A, they don't have ashtrays, and B, the one time I was there, my first trip, someone was talking themselves and then offered their hand, and I just said, hey, we're cool, dude.
Hey, do congressmen get groupies, and how do you deal with that being a married man?
Well, I told you, Greg, I'm flattered by the offer, but I'm just not into that.
Hey, Congressman, before we get on to the press conference, have you finished my book yet?
I have finished your book, and it's a nice segue into the monotony that was the press conference.
What did you make of the press conference last night?
Well, it was really rather uneventful. And again, Greg, it was so bad I felt like rereading your book.
Thank you.
Especially the part where you named your scarves. Yeah, I thought that was particularly enlightening. How you went into detail about how to tie a knot on a scarf. Were you paid by the word?
Hey, do you ever use a teleprompter? I cannot live without mine.
No, I don't like to use the teleprompter, one, because I never have anyone listen to my speeches in the first place, so it seems rather a waste of time. And secondly, they do tend to have you spend too much time talking. If you can't say it in like a page and a half, why bother doing it, right, Greg?
Some journalists have gotten so lazy they now conduct interviews with political figures by Twitter. We thought we would try that with Congressman Thaddeus McCotter of Michigan, a serious congressman who is, well, rarely serious. As a real-life, honest-to-gosh member of Congress, is it possible to complete any thought in 140 characters?
Yes.
You were said to have a warped sense of humor. Is that because as a child you had to deal with having the first name Thaddeus?
It is after the patron saint of hopeless causes, like you.
How do you think Minority Leader Boehner maintains that wonderful tan all year long?
Estee Lauder.
I also love the fact that while Congressman was explaining that, he was using his hands, but you can't see it because of the lower third. So all those great hand gestures you were doing were missed. But I'm
about to give you a hand gesture.
As a Republican, you hate young voters. So this must make you ecstatic.
Well, not really, Greg. Because when you think about it, as someone who's younger than you,
yes,
I can relate to young people. And I think that what Tom was saying about their decisions, first, these are the people who are trying to enter the workforce.
Yes.
And get jobs. So when they don't find any jobs, they get kind of disappointed.
Ah, very good, very good.
It was a great moment today when I woke up, I turned on Fox News, and I heard that the conference would be kicked off by luminaries like Mitt Romney, John Boehner, and others. Which is one of the best things I've been called in quite some time.
Now, I want to play a piece of the floor speech from Steve LaTourette, one of your colleagues this morning. Can we roll
This is
Go ahead.
Stirring. It is stirring.
Yeah, it is. It's stirring. Let's show it.
Lyrical.
Lyrical.
Ross Perot, when he ran for president in 1992, he talked about the giant sucking sound. Well, today there's another giant sucking sound going on in Washington, D.C., and that's the tightening of sphincters on both ends of Pennsylvania Avenue.
You can see why we consider Congressman LaTourette the Republican Allen Ginsberg of his time.
Good morning. So good to see you.
Nice to see you.
All I do is look at Brian all day, so it's nice to have you here.
That can be painful.
It can be painful. You understand my pain.
This week, there was a pretty famous moment when Eric Cantor and John Kyle, leaders in both the House and Senate, walked out of a negotiating session with Joe Biden. Now, frankly, I don't blame them for walking out of any meeting with Joe Biden, but it was over. That's meant to be a joke, people. Please don't. I don't have a nasty letter from Joe Biden's office.
It'll be written in crayon.
I probably will be.
The big news today was that porn star and possible senatorial candidate Stormy Daniels said she's switching her party affiliation from Democrat to Republican. Your thoughts?
Big tent.
Hey, Congressman, what's your take on the Michael Steele situation?
Big tent. It's a big tent.
You can't keep saying Big Tent.
Really?
Unless you're at a sporting goods store and you're looking for a big tent and they ask you what you want, you can say Big Tent.
You little fascist. I can say whatever I want.
It scares me when he
You're a mean little talking walrus.
I like seeing the side of him. I like the side of him.
Was Big Tent the safe word at that club?
Yes.
I'm so glad you dressed exactly like Bill Schultz. It was kind of like a little tribute.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, sir.
Well, you know, Greg, last time I saw you, you were dressed as if you'd been at Lou Reed's estate sale.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I just rolled out of bed and I just kind of climbed across Times Square, and you were in a suit. It was kind of the odd couple.
Mm-hmm. It was very odd.
Yes.
I'm glad there were no pictures of it.
Let's talk about the GOP. They're in such disarray. What can they? Is that perception or is that reality?
Well, like when we were growing up, we used to look at the flock of seagulls' hair and we'd say that looks in disarray.
Yes.
But there was a whole lot of work that went into sculpting that.
That is
so I would say that, if not the music itself.
Yes. Speaking of which, last question: how's your band, Second Amendment? How's it going? Do you play a lot?
Oh, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do, and 60% of our band left. It's not like we're going to be on VH1 behind the scenes. We didn't do enough drugs. We lost our ability to fit in spandex, and half of us went bald.
Hey, Congressman, we got to go, but it's always a pleasure having you.
Well, it's nice to be with you.
So sincere.